students left, they will queue.
I don't think you got his number?
Yeah.
I don't think he's getting this. So the moderator will use the lectern, but we need 2 mics on that side on standby for people who are winning awards.
The moderator uses which lectern? The main lectern? I don't know they will because there's Elena going in their way. Yeah, but she wants the lectern, not the mobile lectern.
Give it.
Okay, well, take the mobile lectern.
Can you play something? Can you play something? Can you play something? Hello.
Because we don't have the FAO. We have to. Where's it?
Can you play anything?
Okay, so if that's the case, who's got the microphone for? So where's the moderator? Who's the moderator? I hear you. Okay, I want you to hear.
Colleagues, let's be seated. Please find a seat near you and take your seat. Carlota Miller, please take your seat.
Oh, Mike here.
We're about to start.
Okay, if we don't have a lapel mic, then we give her a handout, okay?
Okay, we can't hear what if he's saying at the back.
Pardon?
Last second request.
Krishma, can you ask people to take seats?
Bring them.
have them enough.
I'm waiting for you.
Nasikia what mse levels zake ziko chini.
Because people are making moderators in between.
Just have one thing ready. Whoever wants a mic. I don't know where they're going to put the still from.
I'm not feeling like I'm the.
It's the 2 here. There's one more. 6. There's another button.
Florian? Colleagues, please take your seat. Florian, Carlota, take your seat.
Yeah, that's
Do you want to sit?
encouraging everybody to take their seats.
All right. Colleagues, we are about to start. Please take your seats.
Phones. I'm just going to raise the volumes in a second right now. When you get the...
Sit down on the chair. Nice to meet you.
Actually, I'm here to help you. If you need
Thank
anything,
you.
right? I'm probably going to be standing on this side.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes.
When you're done, you just place the microphone.
Yeah, I will do it.
can.
Yes.
We should stop.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should start.
I will go stand guard in case Shall I begin or wait for AK's cue?
No, she's already given the cue.
Okay, we are good to go. Okay? We are good to go.
Can I send the videos to me?
Yeah, we're good to go.
You want me to ask people to take seat? We are starting.
Oh, sure. Okay, wonderful.
Colleagues, please take your seats. We are starting. Come, Internet.
Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the Gala of Hope, live from the 6th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly, live from Nairobi, Kenya. Dear UNEP Executive Director Inger Anderson, His Excellency Minister Birendra Mahato, dignitaries, delegates, and nature lovers, welcome to this truly meaningful and impactful evening. I am Antoinette Toss, UNEP Goodwill Ambassador from the Philippines, and I am truly honored and grateful to be your moderator and presenter for this wonderful evening together. If we look at the news or the serious discussions being held at this UNEA-6, it can seem like the problems the Earth faces is insurmountable. But we can also choose to look around us at the beautiful nature, at the tall trees here at the Nairobi UN campus. And more importantly, if we look at the people sitting next to us right now at this very instance, we have proof that truly there is hope. Each and everyone here is working hard for a revived planet, a livable future. And it's high time we celebrate the successes we've already had. Now, this is why we are here tonight, and we guarantee you a very inspiring and meaningful show. A journey through action for nature across continents and ecosystems. And of course, a glimpse of a bright future ahead. So without further ado, please welcome Ms. Inger Anderson, Executive Director of the UN Environment Program, for her opening remarks.
Good evening. You are learning it. This is how we do it in Kenya. Good evening. Ah, that's better, asante sana. So listen, this is not your normal UN meeting. This is something completely different. Do you feel a little electricity in the air? Because I do. Because here we are to celebrate action, to make sure that we all understand that it is not hopeless. Yes, sometimes we have statistics that tell us bad news on climate, on biodiversity, on pollution, but it's all in our hands. And what we're going to learn about tonight is some people taking action, because we are here to celebrate in this gala action. We are here to hear about 7 extraordinary flagships, 7 extraordinary stories, 7 extraordinary groups of people who are making extraordinary things happen. We from UNEP are incredibly proud, together with our friends at FAO, to be co-sponsors, co-hosts, co-enablers, co-conspirators, to ensure that restoration is recognized, to ensure that when people stand up and restore degraded ecosystems, it doesn't go unnoticed, and to encourage that others will follow the leader and follow what others have done in restoring ecosystems. What we want to do is to revive 40 million hectares of land and coast while we create millions of jobs. What we want to do is to see this effort stretch across the entire globe, whether it be seascapes, landscapes, terrestrial or coastal. We want to see this in all ecosystems. Yes, tree planting, but much more than that. And we want to see revived oceans. We want to see vibrant working landscapes that are farmlands. We want to see rewilded urban spaces. We want to see parks that are natural, where kids can play. And all of this will improve our health, because if you know one thing, it is when you take a walk in nature, you feel good, you feel better, you feel revived, you feel healthy, you feel grounded, and you feel in touch with nature. That's what it does for you. And you know what? Some science tells us, not only is it that you feel good, your blood pressure goes down, it creates these good endorphins in your body that is very healthy for you. Some doctors are actually writing prescriptions are ex-nature. You have high stress, you have diabetes, take an hour's walk every day in nature, you'll feel better. And that's the truth. So here we are. I mentioned that I'm joined by my dear friend, Elena Semedo, who is number 2 in FAO. We are incredibly proud that you are here, and we really thank you. I'm also joined, and I have to thank Ambassador from Denmark, Stefan Schönemann, my fellow country person. And also, I hope that the German ambassador, if you come across him, that you will also thank him, because Denmark and Germany have been strong funders of this program and a clear commitment to the UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration. I want to remind you that, and I see some Kenyan faces here, that you are in Kenya, in case you forgot. And you're in Kenya, and it's a unique place. Just a few years after this country became independent, the UN had to create a new headquarters. And was it, what, 7 years, 8 years after independence? Guess what? This country had the vision to put up its hand and say, hey, how about us? How about us being the host for the United Nations Environment Program? And so we are incredibly proud of being in this beautiful country, on being on this continent of Africa, of being close to the environment, and hopefully understanding a little better than had we sat in New York City, the environmental challenges, but also the solutions. We hope very much that these awards that you will be receiving, that you will understand how precious they are, because they are made of baobab seeds and recycled wood, and they are made here in Kenya. And I want to remind you, no trees were cut in the process of this, but obviously I want to remind you that a baobab tree is a tree that can live for 5,000 years. So the efforts that you are doing today should be efforts that are not just for a year or two, but they should be efforts into perpetuity, because taking care of the land, taking care of our oceans is what we have to do. This evening we're celebrating, and this is a second ingredient of hope, we're celebrating young people. We're celebrating big ideas. We are carving out a greener and more sustainable society, and that cannot happen in isolation. We have to do that with young people, but young people sometimes need a bit of a leg up, and this is what we are here to do. There's some young people who got a leg up at another time. A show of hands, earlier champions. There you go. There you go. And so for that reason, we're very, very proud that we will also be dealing with and announcing the champions, the Young Champions of the Earth 2024. We have received seed funding. We have received intensive training and tailored mentoring. And we will very much want to see that move forward so that we can escape old ideas, so that we can step into and innovate, and so we can think outside the box. Those of you who are interested in the Young Champions of the Earth, please do submit your application. What is it you're up to? What have you done? And what do you need? because I want to give a big, big thanks to Chris Kemper, who is sponsoring the Young Champions. It's a big, big event. And I had to mention it here because Chris Kemper has been and will be and continues to be a great spokesperson for sustainability, for long-term thinking, for smart investments, and for generous support. We're very, very happy that Chris has given us 5 years of funding for the Young Champions Awards. Thank you. I think Chris is not in the room, but if he were, he would be up here and you would all clap. But today, now, we are going to hear about the ecosystem restoration. And so without further ado, I think I have to hand it back to you, Antoinette. Is that right? So let's sit in suspended animation and get ready for something very exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Inger Anderson, Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Program, for that inspiring and invigorating welcome to this truly wonderful evening. And I have to completely agree. Just this morning, we had a wonderful experience forest bathing in Karura Forest, and we also had the opportunity to plant some trees with Her Excellency, the First Lady of Kenya. And of course, when we think about nature, you know, sometimes we admire it like it's apart from us. We admire its beauty, the cute critters and animals that we see, and we forget that we're actually not apart from nature. We are a part of it. And at least 3 times a day for me, I'm sure for most of you as well, I make decisions based on people in the planet every time I choose to eat at every meal. And that is why I am so happy now to invite Maria Elena Semedo, Deputy Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, to the stage to tell us more about the linkages of nature to the food systems that support us all.
Thank you. Good evening to all. Jambo. I understood is to say good evening in a language here. I think Inge has said everything, but I just came right Rome to be here with you tonight, and I have to say something just to stress what she has already said. And it's really a pleasure for me to be here with my dear sister and colleague Inge Anderson in this endeavor, the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, co-led by FAO and UNEP. And as the name said, we are here to celebrate, or this event is about hope. And we are celebrating the fruit of our commitment, our action, and our conviction to restore land. And tonight we'll be recognizing the World Restoration Flagships under the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. And this recognition is to show that we have solutions. We have things that have worked, and we need to replicate, we need to move at scale. And this is why we are all here together. And those initiatives, as I was saying, show that it's possible to reverse ecosystem degradation by restoring, reviving, rewilding, conserving, and innovation, because it's also about innovation, doing things differently. And how we can improve forests, farmlands, oceans, and urban space, generating jobs is not only to plant trees, but we need to generate jobs. We need to grow food. We need to green our cities and to create more well-being and prosperity for human beings. So I encourage you to continue these efforts in making restoration a reality and to inspire others to follow the footsteps of the example we'll be celebrating today. And today's Gala of Hope reminds us that success is possible, especially when we work together, when we don't work on isolation, but we work together and each of us play his part or her part. But what symbolizes hope as Inger was said, more than youth. You are the ones celebrating the work of our youth champions. And you are with us. You are engaging in this change. And you are the drivers of change. We want to hear your voices, your ideas, your dreams. Not only tonight, but I think from now on in different gatherings, in different space, and I don't know if some of you has been in Rome. FAO, we have the World Food Forum. We held every year in October, exactly to bring youth on the transformation of agri-food system. If not, I will be inviting you to join us this year in October. But you will be the next restoration of the next generation of restoration champions. And as I said, the flagships, they are part of the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. We started this decade 3 years ago, and I'm pleased to say that we are making strong progress in preventing, halting, and reversing ecosystem degradation in every continent, in every ocean. As Inga said, it will be not only on land, it will be on oceans, it will be on aquatic. And I have to wrap up. I just to conclude with heartfelt congratulations to all the winners of the flagship. The ones who didn't win will be keeping your examples. We can always show an example on how we can drive solutions. And I will also, again, to thank UNEP, my dear friend Inge, for hosting us. Ambassador, thank you, of Denmark, thank you for joining us, our donors, and all of you tonight here with us celebrating success. Let's continue together restoring our degraded land for a better planet, a better future for all of us, particularly for the youth and the next generation. Thank you and enjoy the evening.
Thank you very, very much, Miss Maria Elena Semedo. And we couldn't agree more. We are inseparable from nature. Sometimes people actually forget that every single basic need that we have comes from nature, from the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, jobs, livelihoods, and so much more. We are truly interconnected. And while restoration pays off eventually, I actually learned a truly amazing fact this week, that for every dollar invested in restoration actually creates up to $30 in economic returns. So truly, that is an incredible investment that we can all make. And so now let's switch perspectives to a funding partner and learn why Denmark is supporting our race to restoration. Please welcome His Excellency Ambassador Stefan Schoenemann from the Royal Danish Embassy in Nairobi.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished guests, partners, environmentalist champions, E.D. Inger, Maria Elena, you said it all, but I appreciate to be given this opportunity. A few years ago, we embarked on this transformative journey towards a greener future dedicated to ecosystem restoration. Every action we take now will shape the future, will shape the sustainability of tomorrow. I appreciate your kind words on Denmark's engagement, but let me tell you, we are honored to be part of this initiative. Being here today, you, us, this group, we do share an extraordinary opportunity to heal our planet, to celebrate nature's resilience, and to do partnerships that will define the success of the decade of ecosystem restoration. It is with great determination that we do convene and meet here tonight, exactly realizing that it is now we need to act. We determine by that the legacy for what we leave to future generations. So with that, I now follow you and address the youth. Young people, and there are many here, I'm happy to see you. You are our future. You bring the hope, the passion, the energy we need to restore our precious planet. Let me now finally extend gratitude to you, Inger, to UNEP, to FAO, to our partners, with special appreciation to Germany for their dedication to this shared mission. I know I have been standing between you and the flagships. It's over. Let's enjoy what we are about to see. Thank you for your attention. Let's enjoy the evening, this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Schoenemann. Thank you very much, and truly, we couldn't agree more, and I know you've heard this said before as well, that the decisions we make today will define the next 10,000 years. And so the decisions we make this week at UNEA-6 and beyond are truly crucial for people in the planet and, of course, for our champions, our youth. In the next half hour, we are visiting 7 places around the world where people have succeeded in making peace with nature. These are the 2024 UN World Restoration Flagships, the most successful, ambitious, and inspiring large-scale restoration initiatives. First, we are venturing to one of the last places where tigers, rhinos, elephants, and humans coexist. I would like to congratulate His Excellency Forests and Environment Minister Birendra Mahato from Nepal and Ravi Pratap Singh from WWF Nepal for the selection of the Terai Arc landscape as World Restoration Flagship. Please join me on stage. Nepal has succeeded in tripling the number of tigers there in the last 10 years. And now, let's see how they did that.
Thank you very much. Excellency Director of UNEP, DDG of the FAO, Goodwill Ambassador of UNEP, good evening everyone. On behalf of Government of People of Nepal, it gives me immense pleasure and honor to witness the global recognition of the conservation efforts led by Government of Nepal through its various agencies with the active participation of the people. We would like to thank partner organizations like the UN system and WWF for their long-standing support. As we all are working for the success of the UN decade of ecosystem restoration, such success has also posed challenges in the human-wildlife conflict. As a result of the restoration of the habits, we could be able to increase the numbers of tigers and rhinos sustainability during the last couple of decades. We look forward to working together with global partners to ensure the people and nature can coexisting in the face of climate change while also meeting the development needs of our nation. Finally, I would like to congratulate all winners and thanks the panel of recognizing our decades-long efforts in the Tarai arts landscape. Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again, World Restoration Flagship, Terai Arc Landscape. Here in Africa, 45% of land is affected by desertification, a process where once fertile land degrades. But there are people succeeding in reversing this trend. Re-greening Africa is uniting farmers, scientists, tech innovators, and policymakers to bring 5 million hectares under restoration by 2030. And they are on track to achieve this goal. And as an audience, we should all take a wonderful trip to Ethiopia, one of the re-greening Africa countries, to see the reality on the ground.
Re-greening Africa, we're reaching 80 countries, and we're working with over 500,000 farmers already. So we see agroforestry as a really critical tool for fighting climate change, and you can have indigenous trees that are helping enrich the landscape and stabilize soil. And the countries we're currently accessing are Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, Gala, Mali, Niger, and Senegal.
Please join us on stage, Eliane Ubalihoro, CEO of the Center for International Forestry Research and the World Agroforestry Center, to receive the honor of UN World Restoration Flagship on behalf of Re-greening Africa.
It's such an honor to be here today, particularly after having spent the morning listening to the First Lady and her campaign in Karua Forest, remembering Wangari Maathai. So I just want to thank all of you here. All the work we're doing is so critical for the ancestors we need to be for the generations to come. And I'd like to particularly thank the Catholic Relief Services and World Vision, who are our partners and are here today, the European Union that has supported this work and continues to support this work. I'd like to thank my other honorees here of the excellent work really we're all doing that's really highlighting collaborative partnerships, equitable community-centered action on the ground, and the role of science. It's really wonderful to be here and to have recognized the right solutions in the right hands and what they can do to make a difference. Restoring landscapes has never been more urgent, and all of you here are here to say that and to live it, and all our work is so urgently needed. So thank you everyone for everything you do. So far we've worked to restore 1 million hectares and are looking forward to get to the 5 million. And really, it's just an honor to be part of the Re-greening Africa and my whole team at C4ACRAF and all our partners, and thank you for this recognition.
Once again, congratulations to Re-greening Africa. It is truly beautiful to see what progress can be made, even in the most challenging of circumstances. And this is also true for our next World Restoration Flagship, set in a country that has experienced devastating floods in 2022, killing thousands of people. Tonight, we are recognizing Pakistan's Living Indus initiative as World Restoration Flagship for its drive to restore more than 30% of its Indus River basin by 2030. And let's travel now to the north of Pakistan, where the environment is both beautiful and frightening.
Pakistan is a very climate vulnerable country, and within Pakistan, the area which is most vulnerable are the northern areas and the northern part of KP.
Our glaciers are melting at a faster rate than in the past. There are about over 3,000 lakes, small and big lakes, which have the potential of causing damage to people living downstream.
इंसान भी, हैवानात भी, पौधे भी और हमारी जो कुछ माल जायदाद है बहुत बुरी तरह मुतासिर होते हैं। बहुत डर लगते हैं कि कहाँ जाऊँ, क्या करूँ, क्या ना करूँ।
The idea behind this project is basically to mitigate the effects of these disasters.
Please join me on stage, Secretary Iftikhar ul Hassan Shagilani from Pakistan's Ministry of Climate Change and Environment Coordination, and Humaira Jihanzeb from the UN in Pakistan. Once again, we congratulate Pakistan's Living Indus initiative.
Well, first of all, good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Executive Director, UNEP, and Madam Deputy Director General, Food and Agriculture Organization. I am extremely honored and pleased to receive this award on behalf of the government of Pakistan and on behalf of the Living Indus Initiative. And before I say something else, I think I would also be very thankful to both UNEP and Food and Agriculture Organization, as they helped us a lot in the formulation of this huge endeavor. The important thing that I want to highlight now is this: the Indus Basin is home to about 90% of the population of Pakistan, and keeping in mind that we are 240 million people. And secondly, it is also home to a large, biodiversity and a varied number of ecosystems. Now, what we have done with this in this initiative, which is different from other things, is that we had many previous interventions, but they were in silos. They were not addressing all the aspects of ecosystems. And in this particular project, we have dealt each and every aspect of the ecosystem simultaneously. We are not doing it in silos, and it's all nature-based. And we hope to restore it by 30% of it by 2030. And we are serious in doing that. And we are, as the government of Pakistan, has committed itself to restoring its ecosystems and its partnership with the world regarding the, for the betterment of this planet. And again, I would like to thank you all for being present here, and again, for receiving this award. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Pakistan's Living Indus Initiative. This year in 2024, we will also see the 20-year mark after the catastrophic 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. The island of Sri Lanka was one that was particularly severely affected, but people drew one very important lesson: recognizing the importance of healthy mangrove ecosystems, the power to store carbon, fight climate change, increase biodiversity, and more importantly, protect human lives and communities from the impacts of storm surges and tsunamis. Tonight, we are celebrating Sri Lanka's natural mangrove regeneration as the new UN World Restoration Flagship. Let's go on a little time travel, looking at Sri Lanka's coast now and then.
Damages are everywhere. The open areas, we have a very big damage. The areas closer to mangrove areas, the damage was less. After tsunami, people realized that mangrove is important.
Everyone wanted to go and plant mangroves. So here in Sri Lanka, today we have around 19,000 hectares of mangroves. That's almost 1/3 of last year. Our aim to recreate the natural ecosystem back, to remove the barriers that disenable the nature to come and do its wonders.
We are honored to congratulate Additional Secretary Anil Jasinghe from Sri Lanka's Climate Change Office and Professor Sevandi Jayakodi, a scientific lead on the initiative. Please join us on stage. Once again, we recognize Sri Lanka's natural mangrove regeneration as a new UN World Restoration Flagship.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the people of Sri Lanka, we humbly accept this very valuable recognition. And frankly, when we got into mud of mangroves, we never expected that we would be rewarded. But now we see that it is in this murky and sediment that we also find the hope for tomorrow. In the presence of Ms. Anderson and the FAO Deputy Director, I would like to say, in the same spirit, Sri Lanka has proposed the resolution on village tank cascaded system, which is very historical, over 1,500 years old, and it's unbelievable. And of course, there are similar systems in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and this is Sri Lanka's one is one of the FAO World Heritages. So similarly, there are others. So therefore, I think this restoring these water irrigation systems is going to be a very valuable investment for restoration in this decade of restoration. And I congratulate fellow winners, and also we look forward to working with them as Sri Lanka believes in connectedness. And this is one planet and the only habitable space. So therefore, Sri Lanka is proud to be with you. And thank you for selecting Sri Lanka. And we will strive to do more and keep up to the momentum. That may require all of us to get into mud. So I invite all of you to visit, support, and get inspired and inspire us on the same passion. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again to Sri Lanka's natural mangrove regeneration. We all know that water is a powerful element, and so is fire. And sadly, we are going to see more of it. The UN predicts that the numbers of wildfires will rise by 50% within this century. One region that is particularly affected is now switching gears from just responding to wildfires to preventing them. For this, restoring Mediterranean forests is recognized as the new UN World Restoration Flagship. Join me for a look at what is going on in his home country and the wider region.
This is where everything started, 1992. forest fires are being seen all over the world. But the Mediterranean, with its specific climate, is being more and more subject to these kind of wildfires. The Flagship was designed based on the idea on land restoration, post-fire restoration.
So we can reduce the impact of wildfires on our ecosystem.
Let us now welcome our hero to the stage. Receiving the award is Chadi Mohana, Vice Chair of the Committee on Mediterranean Forestry, Silva Mediterrana, and Director at Lebanon's Ministry of Agriculture.
Good evening, and thank you very much. I would like really to deeply thank UNEP and FAO for leading this decade and for selecting the Mediterranean ecosystem. This is really a huge recognition for us, especially as our forests are not usually taken into big consideration in the Mediterranean. But now you've seen it, and it's a really, really important ecosystem that is endangered and that needs a lot of support. So for us, even if it's getting this award, is a huge achievement, but this is only a milestone. So we're starting, and we're working, and we'll continue to work in order to preserve our ecosystem, to exchange expertise with the colleagues, with the other awards. We kind of, at the end of our workshop this morning, we got up with an expression saying preventive restoration. We don't want to restore to lose them in 10 years or in 15 years. We want to do it, and we want to do it for good. So let's think prevention while restoring. And just a final remark, I noticed that the young are on the side and the old on another one. So no, we're still young here, and we're all working as young people. Thank you very much.
Once again, restoring Mediterranean forests. Now, did you know that the Andes in Latin America is one of the world's biggest biodiversity hotspots? But they are also greatly impacted by climate change and habitat degradation. They are at risk, of course, from so many impacts to climate and environment, and humans are the cause of these problems. But they can also, more importantly, be a part of the solutions. Don't we agree to that? Don't we agree to that? Yes. Wonderful. I'm glad we are all aligned on that. And of course, they can be a part of the solution as we see in Acción Andina. We are recognizing the initiative as a UN World Restoration Flagship for its power in connecting over 300 communities across 4 countries, united in one mission to save the high Andean forests. And right now, please join us in viewing this video about this wonderful UN Restoration Flagship.
Polylepis trees grow along all the high Andes, from Venezuela to the Patagonia. The most captured water. What's happening right now? Along all these highlands, the lakes are drying, the watersheds are drying, all the crops are collapsing.
Climate change is hitting everybody across the Andes. Glaciers are melting, water security is becoming a huge issue.
Entonces eso es nuestro anhelo de seguir cuidando el páramo y proteger en todo el contorno.
In order to really overcome this climate crisis, we have to think long term.
Our main tool, restoration.
Please welcome to the stage Florent Kaiser and Tino Chutas, the co-founders of Acción Andina.
Ladies and gentlemen, authorities, good night. It's a long way. Working hard with Acción Andina, Asociación Ecosistemas Andinos, Global Forest Generation, all together working with our allies, partners, donors, local and native communities. For what? To produce hope, happiness, and planting millions of trees for a healthy planet. We are in favor of taking care of the life, but we are against to all the laws and all the actions that is increasing the deforestation. We can do it, and it's going to be more. Si nosotros pudimos hacer esto juntos, vamos a hacer mucho más, pero con acciones concretas, reales, en terreno. Vamos, tomemos acción.
I'm just adding one note. Acción Andina is much more than a project in the Andes. It is a symbol of hope. And I'm taking the opportunity to say this message. Restoring the planet cannot be driven alone by money and technology. It is part of the solution. But first and foremost, it is a movement of the people, it is a movement of friendship, of cultures, our ancestors, of children down the line. Thank you very much to everybody that is part of this journey.
Congratulations, Action Andina. And of course, truly proving that nothing can be done without partnerships for the goals. And it is not only in Latin America that communities are working hard to save and restore water. This issue is especially important for Africa's smallholder farmers who have to make the most of their 1 hectare or less of farmland. One initiative that is helping farmers unleash that potential is recognized here tonight. Trees for the Future, with their program of African farmers transforming food systems, is honored as a UN World Restoration Flagship for creating hundreds of thousands of forest gardens across Africa. And for everyone who is wondering what a forest garden is, let's take a look.
Le jardin forêt nous a tout donné. Si j'entre dans le jardin, si j'ouvre la porte, je viens avec joie.
Le changement de climat a trop accentué la salinité des sols.
Peut-être qu'il commence à pleuvoir le mois de juin, donc tout le reste de l'année, c'est la gestion sèche.
L'impact de tous ces changements climatiques peut causer l'immigration. Nous sommes en Tanzanie, en Ouganda, au Kenya, au Sénégal, au Mali, au Burkina et la Guinée. Pour pouvoir aider ces communautés, il faudra qu'ils aient de quoi manger. Donc il faudra créer un mur vert durable.
Please welcome to the stage Tim McLellan, CEO of Trees for the Future and Kenya Director of Field Programs.
Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Last but not the least, thank you, UNEP, for recognizing and highlighting the impact of Trees for the Future Forest Garden Agroforestry Program. Our solution, working with small farmers, small-scale farmers, is restoring land, increasing income, and also improving their food security. It also promotes biodiversity, and it is an effective carbon removal method. It allows farmer clients to engage for the first time with, in the carbon global markets. We have learned over the years that when you give to the land, it gives back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercy, and thank you to UNEP. 60,000 farmers so far have installed a forest garden on their precious small holdings. We are ready to scale this work. We thank all of our fellow flagships and congratulate them. Please join us. Let's get planting. Thank you.
Congratulations, Trees for Africa. And with that, we celebrate all 7 UN World Restoration Flagships. Once again, let's put our hands together for our incredible awardees. To let you know, the 7 new World Restoration Flagships are restoring nearly 40 million hectares, 600 times the size of Nairobi. But however impactful individual initiatives may be, we still need more than that to achieve our goals for climate, biodiversity, and sustainable development by 2030. We need an entire generation restoration, as we like to say. And I'm truly honored to welcome to the stage Veronica Ikme, International Department, Federal Ministry for the Environment, Nature Conservation, Nuclear Safety, and Consumer Protection, to give us a holistic look at the support they are giving to restoration.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I'm really extremely happy to be here. Dear Executive Director Inga Anderson, dear Deputy General Maria Elena Semedo, dear Minister Birendra Mahato, and His Excellency Stefan Schonemann, dear Generation Restoration. We are facing a lot of environmental crisis. We are speaking the whole week about crisis and how to attack them. But amidst all these environmental crises that we are facing, Germany believes that there's always hope. There is hope to make peace with nature and safeguard the planet's well-being. There is hope when we act together. Cuando accionamos juntos. Restoring ecosystems, the foundation of all life on Earth, is one of the most powerful actions that we can take together. This is why Germany is delighted to support the World Restoration Flagships, which are really and truly a beacon of inspiration and hope, as we have just witnessed in those beautiful movies that we've seen with these really inspiring actions. Furthermore, it is important to Germany to support the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration as a whole, to strengthen communication, advocacy, and science, and the many, many stakeholder groups that help to accelerate restoration. One of these groups stands out and plays a very special, I would say a critical role, one that we would like to honor tonight. Young people are the future. They are truly the guardians of our ecosystems. Their dedication and action for a healthy planet might be the greatest source of hope that we have. But they also need support to meaningfully participate in environmental action. So it's not me that you'll have to listen to, it's Generation Restoration that you have to listen to. So let's now hear it from the young people themselves. I am really excited and eager to learn more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again, Ms. Veronica Ikme. And truly, youth are the future. Youth are the future. Youth are the future. Youth, youth, youth are the future. Yes, we are all the future. But one important thing that we need to remind everyone is we should not overburden our youth to fix the mess that we older generations have created. But of course, it is truly inspiring and hopeful to know that they are becoming truly stewards of our earth. And tonight we have the great pleasure of hearing from a young climate activist from Tanzania who is only 13 years old. Please welcome to the stage, Sharon Ringo Moa. Please do share your story with us.
Dear delegates, good evening. My name is Sharon Ringomowo. I'm 13 years old. I'm from Tanzania. I'm a climate activist. I'm here today because our world is threatened. My future is threatened. Your children's future is threatened. Children are dying. My voice today is for the millions of children and youth around the world suffering from climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss. Species are disappearing. We need to take this seriously. I care about animals like elephants and rhinos and other species. We need to take care of them, otherwise they will go extinct. There is hope. I've been involved in planting 49,000 trees with the goal to plant 10 million trees in the next 5 years. We as the children, we must raise our voices so that the world hears that we need a green future. I repeat, we need a green future. We as a people must take action, plant trees, use renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy, and also reduce, reuse, and recycle. We as the children and youth must be included in these actions. I repeat, we must be included in these actions. I'm very excited to learn that UNEP is relaunching its Young Champions of the Earth program. My dream is that one day, when I'm older, perhaps I could be in the running with a big idea of my own. Climate change is real. We must act now. God bless Tanzania, God bless East Africa, and God bless the whole entire world.
Let's put our hands together for Sharon Ringo Moa, our 15-year-old climate activist from Tanzania. We'd like to thank Ms. Inger Anderson, of course, Deputy Director. Maria Elena Semedo for joining us on stage. Yes, you may take your seats. Thank you very much. And as we talk about youth for the future, of course, we began with the incredible Sharon Ringo Moa. Now it is time to have a very special opportunity to hear from our so-called older young people. As paradoxical as it sounds, this is what they are. Our former young champions of the earth from the years 2019 and 2020. Please welcome to the stage Omar Etani, working on sustainable circular textile chains in Lebanon. Sonika Manandar, driving a green revolution in Nepal's public transport. Nzambi Mati, turning plastic waste into resource in Kenya. And finally, Molly Burhans, mapping the land of the Catholic Church for better impact on nature. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for our young champions of the earth from 2019 and 2020. I have a number of truly wonderful questions for you guys that I'm sure everybody would be excited and inspired to hear. And first, we can hear from any one of you, but we would really like to know, what was a key moment in your journey as a young champion, and what made you finally realize that you do have the power to influence and create a huge impact on the world? Sonika, you may go ahead. Yes, please. Thank you.
First of all, Josolapa, namaste. I'm from Nepal. And thank you for inviting to share my story here. Thank you, UN Environment. When UN Environment trusted us with this award, right, it was 5 years ago, and that's when I started my company in Nepal, 2019. Back then, when I told people that I am going to bring the climate finance to the hands of the grassroots entrepreneurs working in the greener business, they would call me insane. They would be like, how? Why? And what the hell is this? And after, I mean, UNEP has been the very first believer of what I was doing, and I'm very, very thankful to that. And today, when I talk about it, people actually don't think I'm crazy. They want to collaborate with me. I think that's when I felt like, whoa, this award is something, right? This is not about money, but this is about the recognition and the trust that people have because of the brand that I'm associated with. I would end there.
Thank you, Sonika. And truly, we've heard that line before. It is the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world that actually do. So thank you for the great work that you do. Molly, is there anything you'd like to share?
I would like to add to that and begin by thanking UNEP and everyone here. It's so wonderful to be reunited with young champions and see many champions, old and younger, I guess is the word, right, of the earth. For me, I want to add to that also, there was an air of naivety in my case, as a woman, a 26-year-old who knocked on the Vatican door and met with the Secretary of State's office looking for maps, because I had trained in ecological design and done regenerative agriculture and figured out a way to scale it to thousands of properties at once using high-resolution data. And I thought the Vatican must have maps, and almost in this amazing kind of poetic moment, I was led down this hall of gorgeous fresco maps and met with leaders there to learn that they hadn't had a map update since pretty much the Holy Roman Empire and the frescoes. So as a woman, I led the development of the first global digital maps of the Catholic Church in history. They are the largest landholder in the world that is not a government, and one of the faith-based organizations that own collectively an estimated 8% of habitable land on Earth, larger than India and Sudan combined. Going into this, there was a little bit of insanity, I would say, and is this even possible, right? And but the other part was naivety, which is, I think, is a beautiful thing of youth. We don't realize how wild it is to be a 26-year-old woman sitting down with the Secretary of State, or, you know, causing this systemic change in an institution, and that's a beautiful thing.
And you are inspiring more and more women and youth to do the same thing across the world. Thank you for the work that you do, Molly. I'd like to turn it over now, possibly to Ms. Mati. We'd like to ask you, how has winning Young Champions of the Earth helped your work? I believe you even collaborate with the United Nations now.
So first of all, I want to give shout out to every single person that I work with who are not represented here. Most of them are in the Dandora dam site. This is the biggest landfill in Nairobi, Kenya. And it's not about me, just to be clear. It's about the 169 youth we work with. So that, it's because of them. And the other thing is how this has changed is 5 years. So I won the 2020 Young Champions of the Earth Award. And it happened during COVID, as the whole world knows. The whole world stopped during the COVID. But for us, thanks to the publicity, because we've been working for like 3 years before, and there's just not so much our story was not getting out there. But the moment we collaborated and won the award, it validated our work, and it made the world know what we do. And as I said, it's not about me, and it will never be about me. It will be about the 169 people I work with in the Dandora Dam site. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nzambi. Omar, I actually would like to ask you the question of what advice would you give to innovators and future young champions like yourself, knowing that you yourself are innovating in an incredible way?
I come from an average family. I lived and I was born and raised in Beirut, Lebanon. Nothing about my background or my education has basically indicates the future or what I've been able to achieve today. And the only reason I was able to achieve it because I dared to try. I didn't have the knowledge or the experience or the parents or the wealth that would allow me to achieve any sort of success. Half of the way is starting the way. And I would strongly encourage young people to start, apply to competitions, challenge your ideas, challenge others, challenge the actual status quo. I come from a country where people usually complain a lot and expect that the solution should come from someone else. I think it should be different. The solution comes from us.
Truly incredible. Thank you, Omar. Every single one of them are giving me goosebumps all the way. And once again, I think that's important to remember for our youth. He dared to try. Dare to try. It is only in not trying or in quitting that we truly fail. So thank you, Omar. We'd like to move back to Sonika really quickly. I wanted to ask, what was the most surprising or unexpected thing about your journey as a young entrepreneur so far? Has it been harder or easier than expected? And what are some of the challenges that you faced?
A very good question. I think I've always been a minority. I come from technology background, so as a woman in the engineering college, I've been a minority. And then now I'm running a fintech business. And there I am also a female founder, which is considered as my minority, right? So one of the surprising things that I came about pretty early when I started this journey was how untrusted women are when we're talking about business, money specifically, or numbers, right? I love numbers, but so one of the surprising things for me in this journey was when we were trying to establish this company, we're talking about we want to work with green businesses, bridge the credit gap for them so that they keep running and keep saving the planet, but then I also want to make profit, right? So they were like, you are two female founders talking about social impact. You should be the nonprofit. That was the first statement I received from the lawyer I was paying to form my company. So I was paying for an insult. That was quite surprising. But fast forward 5 years later, I considered that as my first startup pitch because it was so difficult, one, right? And the reason I'm talking about the profit side of it is because we always talk about 3 Ps, people, planet, and prosperity. But I always want to add one more P, which is profit. Because without that, I think nothing is sustainable, right? And that is proven again and again in what I do, is when now we work with a lot of women entrepreneurs, male entrepreneurs, everybody included, and we've seen that we're able to increase the income by 3.4%, right? Sorry, 3.4 times. And our next plan is to enable more green entrepreneurs so their income is double. So one, they are saving, greening the planet with their business, but then also making profits so they don't have to, always look for aid or support. So yeah, that would be my answer.
It's truly powerful. I completely agree, Sonika. Thank you very much. We do need profit, but of course this profit is best redirected back to restorative and regenerative and circular systems to help regenerate our planet. I would like to, of course, move now once again to Molly and ask, what continues to motivate you? And could you share some of your biggest achievements since 2019, 2020?
I guess after the pandemic and everything, I would say a very big achievement is surviving. But going to my work, the there have been so many doors that have been opened, and I think I know actually the Young Champion of the Earth Award was really integral for that. When I started off, the last UNEA I was at, the Faith for Earth Coalition was in this tent in a corner far away, and it was the first time it was even here. And the whole conversation around religion, faith-based actors, and climate has shifted dramatically. And being able to be even a small part of that, moving that forward, has been tremendously intimidating, because we're talking about science, we're talking about all these things that people don't like to mix together, but they're so powerful. When you think of land and religion, I would say these are the two most powerful forces for shaping humanity and civilization, our cosmologies, and also land and the resources, how we relate to these. But they're also two of the most kind of volatile areas. So approaching land and religion is something that we need to do, given that 8% statistic, but also doing it respectfully and responsibly. One of the major things that we have achieved, I would say, over these years is pushing policy surrounding data use integral to environmental programs for faith-based actors that aren't often thinking about it, to ensure that the land records that are needed and the information and the feedback systems of accountability are put in place in a way that doesn't, stir conflict and ensures the safeguarding of everyone. There's been, tangible accomplishments, awards. An estimated 800 million people have been reached in media with my message. And we've also completed over a dozen projects. Small wins, and I'll close with this, are when I started, I was begging to do the work that I do for free, consulting with dioceses and religious orders, like begging. And once we started just taking projects for profit, since no one would fund us, we just took whatever we could to get the land records in order to build the environmental analyses, school analyses, financial analyses for real estate. And since the Young Champions of the Earth Award, we have finally gotten people that actually want to invest in the environment, in the environmental analyses, and implementing scalable environmental solutions, which sounds small potentially, but it is monumental to be able to actually be getting there.
Truly, and congratulations for the amazing work that you're doing. Policy, data, accountability, and faith. So much of it that is truly bringing us all forward. Thank you so much, Molly. This question is back to Nzambi and to Omar. Both of you are really recognized as innovators. Could you share a little bit more about how many people you've been able to reach with your innovations, and of course, the incredible impact that it's also making? Nzambi?
So being an innovator, you kind of need to have the right degree of insanity. Just enough for you not to go to a mental hospital, and just enough for you to operate in this realm. And that is my everyday operation line. And what keeps me sane is the people. And I am really happy, and as I sit here, shout out to being the host amongst my team, because being born and raised here in Kenya, I'm happy to say my team has been the ones who've been able to make sure that I remain just sane enough to build what we've been able to build. In terms of the number of people we've reached, our goal is to be able, right now as we speak, we work with the most informal people in terms of social economic status within the Dandora dam site. These are, because in Kenya and most parts of Africa, we are yet to have a proper waste management system. And so we mostly depend on the waste pickers. And this is a job that is really looked down upon. This is a job that is really frowned upon. But this is actually the lifeline of waste management system here in Kenya. And I am fortunate enough to work with about 169 of these powerful people I'm happy to represent. I don't think I have the right capabilities because, for example, to give you context, I have Charles. He's been in the dam site for 20 years. He knows, my background is in material science and engineering, but I have learned more from plastic from Charles, who's been homeless and in dam site for 20 years than I've ever learned in the 12 years I've ever been in the uni. And for me, that is the impact I'm making, and I'm looking to have more of those stories. So for the figure, I don't know.
Thank you so much for the wonderful work that you do in Zambia. Omar, we'd love to hear about the reach of your incredible work.
So we won the award back in 2019, and whoever follows the news of Lebanon, 2019 was, needless to say, a very rough year. I came back to the country, there was a revolution that toppled the government, the currency nearly lost 100% of its value. And then we had COVID, the biggest non-nuclear explosion ever in the history of the country, $6 billion in damages. So I went back to a country that was in near total collapse. And the only uplifting or positive thing about that situation is that we felt at Fabricate we are able to do something and we are able to contribute and we are able to help our people who desperately need this help. During that period of time, we have recycled 2 million clothing items, helping more than 200,000 individuals get decent clothing that they desperately needed for their families. We also helped create hundreds of jobs and created a business that allowed the country to absorb around $7 million in foreign direct investment. Those numbers and this impact that was created is what really make us the most proud about what we do.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your incredible work. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together once again for our 2019 and 2020 Young Champions of the Earth. You may stay in your seats, and we thank you all for sharing your stories with us. Omar Itani, Nzambi Mati, Sonika Manandar, and Molly Burhans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special announcement for all young people here in the room and worldwide. Through a generous donation by Chris Kemper, CEO of solar energy company Palmetto, the Young Champions of the Earth program is being relaunched tonight for another 5 years. And now let's watch this very special video by Chris Kemper.
Jumbo, my name's Chris Kemper. I'm excited to connect with you all today, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person with you. First, I want to express this relaunch of the
Thank you so much once again to Chris Kemper, CEO of Palmetto. And now we would like to welcome to the stage my dear friend, fellow UNEP Goodwill Ambassador, actress Dia Mirza, straight from Bollywood, and of course, advocate for the Sustainable Development Goals.
Namaste, Jambu, good evening. I want to start off with saying, Antoinette, you are absolutely incredible. I am a proud fellow ambassador. You have infused so much love and energy into this evening, and I'm sure every person seated here today has felt your warmth and your love and your generosity. Yes, I'm going to make you cry. And before I get into this, I just want to say that I feel like a proud mother. I was hosting the year that all of you won, and I remember sitting there and watching on and listening to you with so much pride. And all these years later, you infuse so much more pride in me. Thank you. Thank you for your humanity, your kinship, and your power. It is palpable. I know everybody in this room has felt it tonight. As you heard, we are all so excited for tonight's relaunch of Young Champions of Earth. It's that one day in the year that infuses hope and meaning and inspiration in my life. And I'm so excited it's back and it's going to be supported for the next 5 years. And I can't wait to discover all the young champions of our Earth in the years to come. Young Champions of the Earth is a forward-looking award by the United Nations Environment Programme. It is the UN's highest honor for environmental action by young people. The climate crisis, biodiversity and nature loss, and increasing pollution and waste levels, as we all know, is threatening our future. Young visionaries are needed who see beyond these crises and have the courage to invent the future by carving their place in a new and greener society. But young people are also bearing the brunt of rising inequality and unemployment. They require better access to networks and capital, a seat at the table of environmental decision-making, and tailored mentoring and training. We've all heard how much our young champions benefited from this program and this award and recognition. In 2024, young people selected from every global region will be named Young Champions of the Earth. These winners receive seed funding, intensive training, and tailored mentoring to bring their big environmental ideas to life. My friends at UNEP and I are looking for young artists, scientists, economists, communicators, entrepreneurs. Are actors included? Okay. From all walks of life who have big, bold ideas for the environment, for humanity, and for a collective greener future. This year's motto is all for nature, nature for all. Show us how you, as a young person, you know is strengthening nature. If you are a young person between 18 and 30 with a bright idea for the environment, for our collective future, or if you know one, apply by April for a shot at the big prize. Let's take a look at the short film to know more.
Instead of just sitting in the sidelines and complaining, we decided what more can we do?
Our technology eliminates greater than 95% of emissions.
And I'm using virtual reality to protect waters, restore salmon, and revitalize indigenous lifeways.
It really means so much to me to celebrate some of the most remarkable human beings in this world.
These extraordinary young people are really making their mark on the world.
Just so proud of everything you guys have done.
It's time for us to step into our power and don't be afraid to dream big.
Start locally, start small, but start. All together we can make a global impact. We need you.
Wow. I'm sure you all agree that tonight has been incredibly special, and it truly has been a gala for hope. We're going to end this evening with gratitude to the Environment Program and to each and every one of you who is here, all the winners of the restoration programs, and of course our young champions. And we're looking forward to meet our young champions of Earth in the future. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to play a small game. Don't go anywhere. We're going to empower each one of us.
Here we go. In case you're wondering what's about to happen, we hope everyone can join us in tossing the ball around the conference room, representing nature for all for nature. Together for people and planet. Let's see if we can get this ball of earth to go all around the room.
one more time. I'm just feeling celebration tonight. Celebrate.
Thank you very much once again for joining us for UNEA-6 Gala of Hope. We thank you all for being here for this truly meaningful evening with our youth. Thank you.
One more.
Kill the music.
Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen, to our esteemed guests for joining us for this evening's Gala of Hope, live from UNEA-6 in Nairobi, Kenya. We thank you all for joining us for this truly meaningful evening, and we wish you all a safe journey back to wherever you're staying, and we'll see you again very soon for day 3 of UNEA-6. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.